last we saw John Morant, he was flashing a gun again on Instagram with a guy he's not supposed to be hanging with. And that is an oversimplification of just setting up the soundbite you're about to hear. An investigation of John Morant is happening again. As we know, he was with a firearm again after saying, I've learned my lesson, or I'm going to learn my lesson, or my suspension for flashing a firearm, by the way, in Denver, and seeing it on social media, on Instagram Live, that, you know, he went somewhere to think about it and learn about it and whatever, and he clearly learned nothing. The investigation, it appears to be complete. Adam Silver, in his State of the State address with the media prior to the NBA Finals, an annual tradition for the commissioner of the NBA, on Thursday, was asked about the status of the investigation and gave an answer that took everyone aback, and including me, by surprise.
We've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was still asked about the situation, I would say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agrees with us, that it would be unfair to these players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of that investigation. And given that we're, of course, in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, and so nothing would have changed anyway in the next few weeks. It seemed better to park that at the moment, at least any public announcement. And my sense now is that shortly after the conclusion of the finals, now we will announce the outcome of that investigation.
Yeah, there it is.
Whoa.
And so, Chris, you know, Cage 3 years old, right?
3 and change,
okay,
yeah.
I've got a 14, a 12, and a 9. And you'll learn this one day, Chris. Whenever one of our kids does something that he or she knows they shouldn't have done, and I understand what Morant has done and what my children are doing, totally different things. But it is similar in this fact. When they know they've done something, and the answer to them is your mom and I are figuring out what the consequence is, and we'll tell it to you later. We need to talk about it first. Drives them nuts.
I used to hate that.
And I am making this analogy because what Morant's behavior is, because he hasn't, thank God, hurt anybody, is so childish. Barkley said it perfectly. This is a multi-billion-dollar business that is setting you up to make $1 billion yourself if you can keep playing and playing as well as you have played and being paid as well as you can be paid because of how well you play. And you can't stay away from behavior that the league will never countenance, ever. Then it's childish. And what I just heard from the commissioner, just to boil it out all down, is we'll see Morant in 2024 for sure. Now, whether he's fortunate enough to be seen again in 2024 when they're still playing basketball in the 2023-24 season remains to be seen, because we do not know what the other evidence is. But if it's other evidence that is so significant that's going to cause a suspension, as significant as this one sounds, to the point where they're like, we don't want to take away from the NBA Finals. We don't want the conversation to be about this. So we're going to wait till the finals are over and then obviously say it as soon as we can to get it as far away from the draft as we possibly can, which is the 22nd. And the NBA Players Association agrees. This can't be anywhere in the realm of the usual drill for a suspension. And then I can't wait to hear what the other investigation is, or the information is from this investigation, so I can figure out what is Morant's malfunction a little better. And hope that he does come back, because he is a brilliant player to watch. And also, outside of all this stuff, seemingly a good role model prior to all this. I heard that yesterday. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yep. That was my first reaction.
And if I'm Morant, it's like, hey, Commissioner, can you just tell me now how bad is it? Maybe he's already been told. It's entirely possible he's already been told, and he just has to keep it quiet.
Maybe. And if you just think of precedent real quick, remember Gilbert Arenas got 50 games for doing the finger guns during warm-ups.
Well, and that was after, but he brought a gun into the locker room. Right.
So it's not unfathomed that this could be a year suspension.
Wow. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.